organization that is catering over 3 million members. We have digital data for over 25 years, an electronic medical record. So just to have an understanding, digital transformation is already in the past, far, far in the past. The digital transformation. When we talk about AI, this is the present. This is not the future. AI is the present. The future is quantum computing. The future is much more exciting. It's much more exciting than artificial intelligence. So Gen AI is the present. And now the question is, how do we use, after we digitalize the organization, how do we harmonize the data through the standardization, of course, so it has to be standardized, and then make it accessible to develop AI models. Now we talk about a lot about AI, still all over the world, it's not implemented enough. Very few people implement AI algorithms, real AI algorithms. And when I say AI algorithms, I don't mean a decision tree algorithm, a rule-based algorithm. This is not AI. I mean neural network, hardcore, deep tech, AI. When you want to implement something like that, you have no idea what is within the algorithm because it's the intellectual property of the people that developed it. That's the first problem. And the second, they don't even know what it is, right? They feed the algorithm tons of information, and then they get some association, correlations, whatever they want to call it. And then you get a recommendation. You just get the result of the algorithm. And now you have to say, and then they tell you, okay, with that result, we can improve patient care. And then as an organization, which I represent, I have to get the algorithm. I'm getting the algorithm. Now I have to validate the algorithm. Because what do you do with an algorithm? Wonderful algorithm. They already got an FDA approved. Okay, they have all the certificates. What does it mean about implementing in production on a population that this algorithm was not developed on? So you develop the algorithm in Spain and you want to implement it now in Israel. This is not the same population. So as an organization, I don't care who gave you the certificate. I will validate the algorithm on my population from the beginning. And why? Because it goes to production, and this is patients' lives. So if you develop the algorithm on a very specific population in Holland, for example, they will not be similar to anyone else, even though they are in the European Union. You are not all the same within the European Union, it's a no-brainer. So even if you give the certificate, you have to validate. How do you validate? You take the algorithm and you start checking running the algorithm on a data set that is not production. Right? It has to be de-identified, ready, standardized for checking AI with capabilities. And then you look at the outcome. How do you check the outcome? You run it on a retrospective data. You use retrospective data, you run the algorithm, and you see the outcome. If you don't register the outcome, if you have only pen and paper, and you are not digitally transformed, you will not run AI models in your system. Point. That's it. Done. There's no point talking about AI. So you start talking about AI only after you did the digital transformation. That's like first. And then when you already implement the AI algorithm within the organization, then you have to follow the AI algorithm, right? You have to check it every year. Who's going to do the QA for the AI algorithm? This is why we don't implement so much. You know why? Because you have a company, they developed a model, but you don't know how to do within your organization. You buy it, you implement it. After 2 years, they sell the company to a Chinese company. Now the Chinese company owns the algorithm, right? And now the Chinese company is updating the algorithm. Will they update the algorithm in my organization? If they do update the algorithm in my organization, do I understand how they updated the algorithm? And if they do understand how they updated the algorithm, will I have to pay more money for it? For running the algorithm? No, it's already in production. It's very complicated, very difficult to take out an algorithm from production. It's not easy to put it in, but if you already put it in, it's very difficult to take it out. Right? And at the same time, they are getting all the information because if you want to run AI algorithm, you have to be cloud-based. You cannot have all your data sitting in your basement in your organization. In a very nice on-prem, tons of computing power, right? That they can get burned, they can get hacked, they can get flooded, they can get, this is like the least safe place to keep medical data in your basement. Whatever organization you have, be the best organization. We can hack it instantly almost. It's not safe. But then we have the idea that Amazon will steal the data faster, right? Google will steal the data. The fact that the data is in my basement and every child today with ChatGPT can hack it, that's not a problem. Cybersecurity, you put all the walls, trust me, it's easier. And check, you don't have to trust me, right? It's a trustworthy AI. I'm a trustworthy physician and a researcher, and you can check everything I say, even with ChatGPT. Now, what's the problem with ChatGPT? It's on cloud. So if you want to use ChatGPT, you want to standardize the data using large language models like ChatGPT, you have to put your data, God forbid, on the cloud. Once again. So what we do is we upload the data to the cloud. It's de-identified, but we upload it and we use all the cutting edge technologies that the superpower companies have already. You don't have to develop them for on-prem usage. You use the real thing on the cloud. You just do it in the right way. So you have to make sure that the cloud of your organization is safe, is secure, is certified. We are HIPAA compliant, GDPR compliant, ISO regulated. We have all the certificates in the organization, but the data is on the cloud. Much harder to hack. That's very important to understand. I say it again. It's much harder to hack the Amazon cloud than your basement on-prem data in your computer that we can hack with a cell phone. So that's very, very important. And if you want to implement AI, that's the only way you can do it. There is no other way. It's like just one way. Now, if you don't want to implement AI and you say, okay, I will continue with my digital transformation, I will continue writing on a piece of paper, right? So no one can hack your piece of paper unless you lose it. In Maccabi, in the organization, the notes that the physician is writing for himself are on the computer. They were, like just like you have in your phone. And then, how much time do I have still? If you have questions, please just ask. Okay. If you have questions, just please raise your hand and ask. So even the notes we are writing in a computer, and when we are talking about digital transformation, and then we have to give people tools and all the elderly physicians and how will they manage with the system. At the end of the day, if you have a cell phone and the UX UI, which is the user interface of the technology, is simple enough as your cell phone, everyone is using my grandma is using the cell phone. Everyone is using a cell phone. You can use the technology. It's not that complicated. There is a very big gap. I mean, we are underestimating the population we are working with. So we are underestimating the patients, we are underestimating the physicians. Everyone can work on a UX UI that is very simple if you can use a cell phone. Most of us, even in the ages of above 70, can use a cell phone. It's that simple. What does it require? Some motivation, which is not the technology problem. It's the motivation of the physician to use the actual system. The motivation has to be according to the country and according to the health system and the organization, but it has to be motivated. Usually it's financial. If it's not financial, then it's just a very simple decision of someone who is very intelligent, very powerful, and can manage the organization that says, if you don't use the computer, you don't work in an organization. Here's the door. Everyone will use the technology because there is no other way. It's really very, very, very simple. But we like doing things complicated because it's more fun. It's complicated. People have more jobs. They can spend more money. We can find out that it doesn't work. We can try it again. So we like to do all these things. But at the end of the day, you can use a cell phone. You can use an electronic medical record. The reason that people don't put the information in the electronic medical record, it's not the technology.